How's it going, Lazy Bruce's up over Sixkilla? Welcome back to Ever 17. I left you on a cliffhanger last time. It was very cruel of me, but I would do it again. Absolutely, in a heartbeat. We're in the Lemurian ruins. You was just buggered off, and we've seen someone in the distance who knows us by our name, Hokuto. Don't know. I assume that it's going to be Tsugumi, but I guess we'll find out. It had to be. She was the ghost I'd seen. Oh, it's Coco. The empty full sky. Hokuto is calling out. Brings a chill to me. Ah. We switch back to Takeshi. The empty full sky. A single cuckoo calls to me. Calls out. Brings a chill to me. Huh? Huh? What did you just say? The empty full sky. A single cuckoo calls out. Brings a chill to me. What is that? Is there some haiku? Yeah. Why a haiku all of a sudden? Don't you think it's elegant? Elegant? Refined, isn't it? Refined. Japanese people a long time ago suddenly just started making up haiku. So you see, the haiku helped them forget their everyday cares and gave them a lot of graceful and happy feelings. Oh, is that so? Oh, yes it is. But listen, Coco, it's not once upon a time right now, and you kind of threw me off guarding with your haiku making there. Well, I can't help it. What do you mean can't help it? I wasn't talking to you. What? I was talking to a life form from another dimension. Another dimension? Well, yeah. Apparently Coco was radiating microwaves. Oh, my head. I can feel my brain starting to melt and come out my nose. Wait a minute. My brain's couldn't be coming out my nose. I rubbed my nose with my finger. Something sticky and viscous was stuck to my finger. It was bright yellow. Crap, my brains are melting. Shut up, it's not funny, stupid. It's your fault that my brains... Coco was stamping her feet, grabbing her belly and laughing uproariously. Hey, actually... 30 minutes before... Hey, Takepion! Wake up! I can't sleep. Come play with me. While saying this, she was shaking me, grasping my eyelids and dropping in mermaid's tears and squirting mustard up my nose. Unable to withstand Coco's brutal attacks, I meekly went along with her request. Which means this wasn't brains, it's mustard. Coco toppled over right into a puddle, splashing the water around. She kept laughing and rolling back and forth. Damn it. Coco, don't you have a tissue? I have a handkerchief. She pulled a handkerchief out of her pocket and fluttered it at me. The handkerchief was soaked, and drops of water dripped from it. I blew my nose into it mightily. I blew until I blew out everything there was to blow. Phew, that's better. I pulled it up and gave it back to Coco. She carefully folded it up and put it back in her pocket. You thought you were actually putting that back? But held my tongue. So, what were we talking about? About inchworm inching. No, we weren't. Inchworm, inchy, inchworm. Inchworm, boop. Coco began inching along the floor, flat in her belly. I wouldn't say a word. Hey, Takepion. I'm not playing inchworm with you. What? Why not? I'm just not. No. I want an inchy worm. Coco splashed at the water. I went through this last night. There's no way I'm making the same mistake today. I swore this to myself. I'm going to bed. What? She jumped up and clung to me, sopping wet. No, I won't let you sleep. Coco, I'm sleeping whether you let me or not. Why are you being so mean? You're the one being mean, Coco. Oh, Takepion, is just going to abandon poor little Coco? I'll be all alone. Lonely, so lonely. Why are you being like this? Why don't you come sleep too? With you? You'll come snuggle with me? I don't think so. Well, at least will you sing me a lullaby? A lullaby? Oh, you mean the one you sang before? Yeah. Well, I don't mind singing, but I don't remember the words of that or the tune. That's okay. It's easy. You'll learn it right away. And saying that, she burst into song abruptly. Moon sprite shouldering a long bow, waiting inside a dream. Tonight, a story by moonlight, hoping the wait will be short. Sleeping curled and snug, sleeping in mother's arms. Water sprite lifting a pair of paddles, and waiting inside a dream. Tonight, the whirlpool demon, waiting for a boat, hoping the wait will be short. Rock to sleep. Sleeping held by the ocean. Whirlpool demon? What was it? As soon as I heard Coco's lullaby, I felt a wondrous tranquility. I felt a tickle on my chest, like someone had blown lightly on me. This breath blew away all the dust and dirt that had built up inside me and revealed precious feelings I thought lost long ago. Precious wonder like the vastness of the sky, it seems to me, when I was a little child, or the deep blue waves, or the fragrance at twilight. Back when I thought the ocean went on forever, and I was transfixed by the perfect beauty of the moon. For better or worse, a delightfully sweet time. Coco's lullaby called up a sentimental mood in me. Lost in its sweet fragrance, I made the mistake of drowning in it. What a good song. Yeah, huh? What's it called? Who knows? I don't know its name. But I just call it the Moon and Ocean Lullaby. Moon and Ocean. Tsugumi. Right? Moon and Ocean. But don't the verses start Moon Sprite and Water Sprite? So shouldn't it be Moon and Water Lullaby? But at the end of the second verse it says Held by the Ocean, right? Oh, that's true. My mummy taught me this lullaby. So it's called the Moon and Ocean Lullaby. What? What's the connection between your mum and the moon and the ocean? Wait, mummy? Moon and sea? Did that mean... When you say mummy... Right, Tsugumi. Tsugumi. She would sing it to me. Shit, we're back with Kid. Where Coco is kind of ethereal on this plane of existence. Tsugumi? But that's crazy. That's impossible. But no one knows the lullaby except Sarah and me. Why? Why are you laughing? Hokutan, don't you think it's strange what you're saying? What? Right now, you're a little confused. So you showed your true self for a minute. The real reason you decided to poke his face out for a teensy-weensy second. The real you decided to poke his face out for a teensy-weensy second. Listen, Hokutan, think about it. It's not really that strange for Tsugumi to know that lullaby, right? Maya could have just taught it to Tsugumi, right? And then Tsugumi taught it to me. That's not possible. What makes you say that? Because... Maybe you can't answer that? Well then I got an answer. I'll just answer for you. You see, Hokutan, you know that Mayo doesn't exist in the world I live in. That's why you just said, no way. And that's the reason you thought that there was no way that Tsugumi could know that song. Right? What? Wait, what? It's okay, you don't have to be scared. Just be honest with your feelings, okay? There's no reason for you to lie anymore. I was getting more and more confused. I was being gobbled up by one problem after another, being chewed up for sport, and I felt like I was losing myself. I squeezed my eyes shut, took a deep breath and tried to maintain a grip on reality. I opened my eyes, stared at Coco and asked, the world you live in, what does that mean? See, now there you go, lying again. You know all about the world I'm in. Maya's not there, and Tsugumi got hurt, and there's another with you, another you with a different face. You know all that stuff. The world Coco's in. Another self. Tsugumi injured. There was no Sarah. What? A world without Sarah? That's right. Hang on, why do you know about Sarah? Are you finally ready to come clean? Okay, then I'll tell you. It's because I know everything. I know everything, so I know about Maya. And the reason for that is, I have ESP. She's talking about the psychic powers again. Stop trying to mess with me. I'm not, it's true. Okay, let me ask you a question then. Okay, Hokutan, how come you know about me? Why did you know about me? That first time when we met in the decompression chamber, you said my name, didn't you? And why would that be? It was sort of like a premonition, an insight. Uh-huh. Well, what about Pee-Pee? What? You know about Pee-Pee, don't you, Hokutan? No, I have no idea. Oh, that's funny. Well, Pee-Pee is this little kitten I have. Cat? Gotcha, you fell for it. When I said kitten just then, you did a double take, right? Why would that surprise you? Because you know that Pee-Pee is really a dog, that's why. Stop acting, and stop playing dumb. You've known about my world all along. That's why you know everything. TF Blau virus, Cure virus, IBF, Pygmalion, the terabyte disk. All of them. You've heard all of these words before, haven't you? And this, I bet you remember this. How do you and Mayo escape from 102 feet deep, down under the sea? Escape with Nakyu using a siphon. Don't lie and say you forgot. I know you'll remember. I'm the same as you. That's why I know about the world you live in. And the world that I live in. So do you understand now? I know everything you know. And I know some things that you don't know yet. Things you don't know yet means things you will come to know later. But maybe I'm telling you way too much stuff, so your mind is getting all mixed up. But I can tell you this, you'll understand it one day, so I'll say it again. No matter what, don't lie to yourself, okay? Understand? I don't understand. Of course I don't understand. Here we go again. Coco, what are you? Why did you suddenly appear in front of me? At those words, Coco's face suddenly clouded over. She scrunched up her face and drew her eyebrows together. Tears welled up in her eyes. She blinked to hide them and spoke quietly. I wanted to see you. I've been waiting for you. Waiting and waiting for you to come. I wanted to see you more than anything. I wanted to see you again. I've been waiting here by myself. All by myself. Coco's words drifted into my heart and melted like a light snow. We gazed at each other without speaking. It wasn't what the words she said, so much as that she said them at all, that moved me so deeply. Before I sought their meaning, I let the simple power of her true feelings flow straight into my trembling heart. I couldn't take my eyes off Coco's sad, tear-filled eyes. Coco laughed softly. I could tell it was forced cheer. The bravery of that laugh gripped at my heart. I'm sorry, I have to go. We'll be apart again for a little while. What? Okay, before I go, I'll tell you something pretty juicy. But I'm pretty sure you've already figured it out. That dream you saw? It wasn't a dream. It actually happened, okay? Don't forget what I just said, alright? See you later, Hokutan. The next moment she was gone. Without a sound, just gone. Like a candle snuffed by a wandering night draft. And then I lost consciousness. Again, we do a lot of that. Now we're back to Takeshi. I sank down into the darkness for a minute. Pull yourself together, man. I shook my head and gathered my wits. It's the Coco Show. First skit, what if a dolphin were salmon roe? Wow, big load today, tons of salmon. Let's see, open them up. Cut. Whoa, what's this? Dolphins are pouring out of the salmon, hundreds of them. Oh no, Mummy, emergency. The reason I blacked out must have been Coco's microwaves, they got to me. I still hadn't built up an immunity to them. It was pretty rough. Why didn't I ever learn? Why was it that every time I wandered around, my feet kept taking me to her? It was strange. I wonder if she was drawing me to her with some mysterious frequency. Anyway, having finished breakfast, I wandered around Lamu and got sucked into the souvenir shops. Coco's jokes, if a dolphin was a corpse. Oh, thank you for coming such a long way. My sincere condolences. Would you like to see my husband's face? Oh well, certainly. Click, click. Whoa, an eternally sleeping dolphin, and its belly up too. He looks so peaceful. As if he'd jump up any second. Except you couldn't say that, because you wouldn't be able to see his face. Hahaha. Is that a joke? Coco padded along, shaking a huge dolphin stuffed animal. Several smaller stuffed animals were strewn around the carpet. From the looks of the empty cabinet nearby, it appeared that she'd pulled them all down from their places on the shelf. It was such a childish thing to do. A child. But Coco was 14. A 14-year-old who still played with stuffed animals. I wondered if it was really okay to let her just grow up like that. But when I saw her innocent laughing face, I didn't have the heart to scold her. I suppose she'd probably be the happiest just being the way she was. Coco continued to crack herself up, and I continued to watch. When her amusement died down a little, I called to her. Hey Coco, where's Pee-Pee? Pee-Pee, I think he's right over there somewhere. I looked around the kiosk. Whoa. There. Pee-Pee was gripping a stuffed animal's tail in his teeth, shaking it back and forth crazily. It was a stuffed lemur doll. He seemed pretty engrossed in it. Hey Takepion, what's he doing over there? What am I doing, huh? You look so happy, I was just watching you. Just watching you is making me happy. So I guess you could say by watching you I've slipped into a happy, stupid state. Really? Takepion, you're falling in love with me, aren't you? What? You like me, don't you? Well, I can't believe it, he's finally told me how he feels. How embarrassing, I'm blushing. Oh my gosh, I crushed, what'll I do? Coco balled up her fists and started popping the dolphin's belly with her brutal right hooks, punch after punch again and again, until the cotton batting started to come out. Oh, to thank you. Shall I tell you a new joke? Oh no, that's okay. I don't want to make you angry and have you beat up a dolphin again. Why not? You don't have to be polite. No, believe me, I'm not being... Coco's joke about the doctor and the nurse. Ignoring my pleas, Coco launched into her joke. Aww. It was very long. It was not funny. It was so bad, in fact, that I couldn't even muster a polite chuckle. Now I'm going to inflict it on you. It went like this. No! A nurse named Kate was desperately in love with Robert, a doctor who worked at the same hospital. Robert was crazy about Kate as well. Kate stood on the left side of the room, and Robert stood on the right. Kate slipped out of her white uniform and hung it on the closet door. Robert stripped his uniform off bit by bit, in a bit of a hurry, and simply dropped it on the floor. Kate lowered her panties. Robert threw off his boxers. Kate's body was lovely and supple, and Robert was lean and muscled. This is a 14-year-old telling us this joke, by the way. Kate put on the silk pajamas she'd brought for the occasion. Still naked, Robert turned off the light. Standing on the left of the bed, Kate turned slowly to the right. On the right of the bed, Robert turned easily to the left, and they jumped into the bed and slept. Oh, by the way, Kate was sleeping in the night duty room, and Robert was sleeping in his room at home. Hey, what's with that face? Hey, I bet you were imagining something dirty, weren't you? That was the punchline. Coco's laugh was loud enough to hear across the Pacific Ocean. If there were any nuclear submarines nearby, their sonar would probably be laughing too. Even I felt the corners of my mouth twitch. Obviously the joke wasn't funny, but Coco was so amused at the unamusing joke, it was hilarious. I thought to myself, all is well. Laughter is infectious. Even if a joke's not funny, if the person that tells it cracks up, it's pretty hard not to, sometimes. According to what we heard from Sora on the second day, Lemuru's partitions would reach their structural limit tomorrow. So how was it I felt so calm? Maybe Coco's innocence was contagious. I wasn't even tense, I was lounging around. If I stayed like this, it could be dangerous. It was fine for Coco to be innocent, but if I got swept away in it, it could be fatal. The thought ran through my head, but as I looked at her smiling face, I couldn't hold on to caution. It was too peaceful. It was like being in a dream. I was in a dream. After Coco disappeared, I blacked out. Maybe I was still stuck in that state. In the dream, I felt choked and oppressed. It was like being plastered up inside thick walls, unable to move. Only my eyes could follow the images before me. I earnestly followed after the fragments of scenes that unfolded before me. Hokutan, that dream. It wasn't a dream. It actually happened, okay? I thought about it. That dream? The dream I had on the third day right before I woke up? You know about the world I live in. Mayo's not there. And Tsugumi got hurt. And there's another you with a different face. Tsugumi injured. Meaning it had actually happened. But no, it couldn't be. The warehouse was still fine. And Tsugumi was as perky as ever. What could it mean? You absolutely can't lie to yourself, okay? Coco's words ran together. The scattered fragments of images began to come together a little, until I could make out a vague outline. But I still couldn't see the whole picture at once. It was like a freakishly large mural. Since I was imprisoned in these walls, there was no way to see the whole thing. What to do? Escape from the walls. And I pushed my face out through the wall. I woke up. I was in the infirmary. I looked around. I was alone. I ran out of the infirmary and headed towards Trite Stock. You're talking about breaking out of the third dimension into the fourth dimension to see both timelines. Like Sora was talking about earlier. I ran out of the infirmary and headed towards Trite Stock. If Coco was alright and there'd really been an accident and Tsugumi was injured, in any case, I'd find Tsugumi and discover the truth for myself. But I didn't know where Tsugumi was. Yeah, but which world are we in right now? So we are as kids, so we should be in kids' side. So I headed first to the control room. Sora was sure to be there, and Sora knew where Tsugumi was. I opened the door. Sora, where's Tsugumi right now? I ran into the room and yelled in a loud voice. What? Tsugumi's right here. Sure enough, there she was. Tsugumi on a chair looked around at me. What happened? Why are you in such a hurry? Tsugumi, look, sorry, but on the spur of the moment I lifted up Tsugumi's skirt. Hey, what the... A resounding slap, but it didn't hurt. As a matter of fact, it seemed I'd lost all feeling in my entire body, because I'd seen Tsugumi's right thigh, a faint scar. What is that scar? Scar? The scar on your thigh? This? This is just an old scar. Old scar? From when? Oh, a long time ago. A really, really long time ago. Where? Where did you get hurt? It was... Oh shit, it's all coming together. I was trapped in a gondola. I couldn't move. I couldn't even shift my eyes. But we're back to Takeshi now. Past the skirt I was holding, I could see the white of her panties, the smooth curve of her thigh, her smooth silky skin, the scar. I'd definitely seen a scar there, but it looked like something that had healed years ago, leaving only the faintest trace on her skin. 12 years ago I was infected by a virus. Because of that virus, the virus, it rewrote my genetic code. Cells are reborn every day. They're reborn and then die. Normally a person's body completely remakes all of its cells every five years. But after I caught the virus, when I was 12, its cells slowly kept dividing, so that 5 years later, I had all new cells. In 5 years, every cell that made up my body had been genetically altered. When that last original cell died, the self that I had been at 12 disappeared without a trace. In that moment, the old me died. The old me died and the new me had a body that would never die. My immune system and my metabolic rate were improved. My telomeres began to regenerate themselves. That's right, I'll never grow old and never die. My physical growth stopped in that moment in time. I'll never grow older than 17. The Curavirus. The Curavirus is a type of retrovirus. Like many retroviruses, the Curavirus is not contagious across species. When people simply say the Curavirus, they're actually referring to the human version of the virus. There are variants such as the monkey-specific cure, the rat-specific cure, but from here on out, we will only be referring to the human strain. Retroviruses turn their host's RNA into DNA by doing a reverse transcriptase and then re-inject that DNA into the host's genes. This means that they can directly rewrite the host's blueprints. Infected cells, which go on processing proteins as usual, then unwittingly reproduce the virus. At the same time, the cells with the rewritten DNA go on to divide and multiply, spreading throughout the body like cancer cells. Normally when cancer cells develop in the body repulses them with the p53 function, located on the 17th chromosome. The p53 creates certain enzymes and proteins, and then when there is damage done to a gene, it stops replication or causes apoptosis, natural cell death, and works to repair the damaged DNA, thus earning the name the anti-cancer gene. The Curavirus mutates this p53 gene as well, rendering it useless. Thus, the Cura-infected cells can spread throughout the body uncontested. Then once all the DNA code is rewritten, the host literally becomes a new species. A new species? Well, we'll just call it the Cure species here. The Cure species body is endowed with the following unique characteristics: self-regeneration of the telomeres, greater improvement in self-healing. Telomeres are the base sequence located at either end of a chromosome, and generally become shorter with every replication. I remember the Veritasium video on that one. After a certain number of divisions, the telomere gets so short that the cell can no longer divide, and then it dies. So the telomeres are like a bus ticket of a cell division. Once you spend them, they're gone. But not the Cure species. This new body produces an enzyme called telomerase, which allows unlimited recycling of the bus tickets that normally would already be spent. This allows for almost endless cell division to continue, thereby eliminating aging and weakening. Having said all that, this is not a particularly unusual phenomenon. It happens every day in normal reproductive cells, and even in most cancer cells. There is rarely a shortage of telomeres. In that sense, it's not impossible to say that the Curavirus turns every cell in the body cancerous. On the other hand, there is no similarly tangible mechanism yet in place for dealing with the process of self-healing. But the metabolism is activated at the rate of cell regeneration is greatly decreased. And it is believed that this is what so dramatically shortens the time required to heal after an illness or injury. Actually, there is one more distinguishing characteristic of the Cure species, which is infrared vision. What? Oh my god. Is Tsugumi actually Sarah's mother? And thereby being Kid's mother? Because it's passed down genetically, she must have it then, because she's a Cure person, and we have it. Which means we have the self-regenerating thing as well. Right? It's all coming together now. Because of its production, it lost the faculties of the P50. And when we... Sorry to break it again. When we saw Tsugumi talk about when she was a kid in hospital, she talked to the guy in the bed next to him and called him Kid. And I was like, that looks a lot like our kid. So that's Kid? But that, I mean, that was a kid, the same... Maybe that's our dad. I don't know. Because of its production, it lost the faculties of the P53. Cure species possess a constitution extremely vulnerable to ultraviolet rays. The DNA cells in the skin quickly are damaged or grow malignant when exposed to the sun for any duration. In a normal human, thanks to the anti-cancer gene, damaged DNA is let die or repaired, but the Cure species cannot do this. It was possible to use another gene to produce an enzyme to perform the same function as P53, but alas, the solution provided to be limited. Therefore, cure species are very vulnerable to ultraviolet rays and can only venture outside at night. We're vampires. The infrared ray vision was developed to make up for this shortcoming. I have this unique ability. Having finished our long talk on the cure virus, Tsugumi brought this up. Without touching something, I can see its temperature. Infrared vision. It's also called infravision. So on the second day, when you stood in front of the power generator room and knew that it was too hot, that was because of your infrared vision. Yes. How about that? Infrared vision. Interesting, or infravision. You don't doubt me? She tilted her head like she was surprised. You believe all this nonsense I've been telling you? Oh, it's an unbelievable story. Viruses, DNA, bodies that won't die, it's crazy. I can't believe it, but I don't doubt it. If you say so, it must be true. So I guess I have to believe it. The instant I said that, my body was being pulled. It wasn't a brutally strong force, but I couldn't resist. It was a natural flowing movement. On the white gondola, Tsugumi's body was covering mine. I could feel her breath. I could feel her pulse. I could feel her heart. The fragrant smell wafted from her neck, the smell of musk. A sweet smell. I remember this. You're kidding, right? She smiled coldly and gazed at me. Don't just say I believe so easily. You think it's irresponsible? It's very irresponsible. How can you believe me? On what basis? None. I have absolutely no basis. You see? Raising an eyebrow, she put a hand on my neck. Will you cut it out already? She gave me a look that turned my spine to ice, but her hands were trembling. Her coldness was contrived. Calm down, Tsugumi. I spoke slowly, breathing deliberately. First of all, do you really need a reason to trust people? If so, then you don't have to trust me. Doubt me all you want. But I believe you, even if no one else does. I do. I accept the truth. But there's no reason you should be able to do that. But I can. I want to understand you. Even if it's hard for me to believe. If it's the truth. The scar on your right leg, it's almost healed, right? Yes. I can't believe it, but that wound is almost healed. That's the reality, right? That's right. Show it to me again. I'll accept things as they are. You want to see it? She removed her hand. You really want to see? Her voice trembled faintly. She was speaking slowly, in control. If you look, you might regret it. If you knew everything, you might think, there's no way I could be human. You don't want to look. If you show me, maybe you'll regret it. The fact that you're not answering, was that a stupid question? If you don't answer, I'm not going to look whether you want me to or not. Don't. Don't decide for me. I didn't say I didn't want to show you. The room slid into darkness. Look then. Don't flinch, look. At everything. I'll show you. Only you. I heard the sound of unfastening. In the darkness of the gondola, in the faint moonlight, the deep sea shined blue. Floating up into the darkness, it was a wound. Once etched deeply, but now healed to almost nothing. I had to squint to see. I might not have known if I hadn't gently run my fingers over them. Scars. All over her body, minutely etched, countless scars. Tsugumi's shoulders shook with her weeping. She cried silently. I grasped her shoulders. I pulled her to me fiercely. Tears bit the floor. Tsugumi cried in my arms on my breast like a child. I wanted Tsugumi and she wanted me. She accepted all of me and I accepted all of her. We overlapped until we became one. My head rested neatly on Tsugumi's legs. She was sitting on her heels. I felt the lovely softness of her flesh on the back of my head. The gondola had circled the floor many times and it was now moving again through the darkness. What's that? I looked over to see Tsugumi holding something in her hand. She was clicking what looked like a pen. I think I heard that same sound in front of the generator room. It's an infrared laser. She smiled quietly and muttered, "What? It's convenient to have this. If you have a special ability like mine." You're basically doing with your body the same thing as an infrared night scope camera does, right? If you flash an infrared ray, it makes it easier to see in the dark. And since normal people can't see the infrared rays, it just looks dark. But if you have infrared vision, you can see as clearly as you can at high noon. Tsugumi nodded. That's right. I'm fine no matter how dark it is. Teehee. Tsugumi giggled as she covered up her bared chest. When she laughed, it jiggled me too. Right about the time that it stopped. Hey Takeshi, can you get up? I sat up as ordered. I'm gonna count down from 3. Don't close your eyes the whole time, okay? Huh? 3, 2, 1. There was a sound. What did you just do? I blinked. I burned an image. I burned an image of you. Burned? Yep. And burned a pretty good one too, oh my god. That's for the pendant, right? Okay, so here's what I'm getting from this. Tsugumi and Takeshi are Sora and Kid and possibly Koko's parents. Right? And that image she just burnt was the pendant that Sarah carries around of her father. Right? Here. She pointed at her chest. And here too, okay? I couldn't see because of the shadow of her hand. She was holding something. Something beside the laser. In the darkness I heard the sound of a thin chain. I didn't know what it was. What do you mean by here? Tell me. It's a secret. All she would do is give me a mischievous smile. The hologram pendant. But the kid was like, that's not someone I recognize. But it's Takeshi. He knows Takeshi. He should recognize him. I thought back to the image in Sarah's hologram pendant. That means the image of the pendant was of a different Takeshi Kuranari. And Tsugumi has infrared vision like Sarah and me, which means both Sarah and my parents were... What is it? Are you alright, kid? You don't look so good. I shook my head and shivered as I stepped slowly backwards. My back bumped against the wall. It can't be. Huh? No. I let out a cry that was almost a scream. Swinging around, I opened the door and ran out of the control room. I wanted to get away as fast as I could. I wanted to find a place where no one could find me. I pounded up the emergency stairs. I ran forward in a dark haze. I ran as if I could escape the fear that threatened to overwhelm me, further and further away. But in this confined space, there was nowhere I could run away to. Eventually I reached the end of the corridor and ended up in front of the jellyfish gondola. There was no way past the closed-off floor doors. I stood in front of the decorated arch. The gondola had to be somewhere beyond the gates, which was veiled in darkness. In the gondola, Tsugumi and the real Takeshi. It's impossible. I tried to purge the thought from my mind, but the suspicion mercilessly attacked my brain until I could no longer think straight. The battle between denial and acceptance, I writhed in pain, sinking further into a trench of despair. In my mind, there was only one possibility. I was almost convinced of the certainty of it. On the other hand, I hated the possibility so much that I wanted with all my heart to reject it. I put my hand on my chest, breathing in deeply, and I tried to calm my thoughts. If it was true that Tsugumi had infrared vision, and the incident I witnessed in the jellyfish gondola really did happen, the Takeshi and Tsugumi who existed in the other world would be Sarah and my parents. No, it can't be. I was once again overwhelmed by feelings of denial. Sarah and I were 16. If Tsugumi was given birth to us, it would be 16 years ago. Huh? I suddenly felt as if I'd been hit by lightning. My head was filled with blinding light. Suddenly, kicking off the floor, I broke into a run. It was 2017 now, so 16 years ago would have been 2001. The world I'd seen was 2000. Wait a minute, what if this year wasn't 2017? I opened the door of the security office and stumbled into the room. As I suspected, I found you there. You? Breathing heavily, I approached you. What is it all of a sudden? What is it? What's wrong? This year. What year is it? Huh? Just answer me. You blinked slowly, her mouth half open. Well? I glared at you and pressed her for an answer. A little overwhelmed by my enthusiasm, you seemed a bit disconcerted. And the other you, the Haru you, as opposed to the Aki you, right? Is this you's mother? The two yous are mother and daughter, right? Is that how it works? On the standard calendar, 2034. Why? Okay, we need to wrap this one up. I don't think we got much longer to go though, but shit's still starting to come together now in a completely insane way. I had a feeling that the two timelines were vastly different on scale, on the time scale, but I didn't really understand. Like, it makes sense for Tsugumi because she doesn't age, and that's why Sarah's not there. And so the kid is a different kid. I don't know who the kid actually is then. And Coco wasn't. I don't know about Coco because Coco doesn't exist in the other world. So maybe she's an old lady now. I don't bloody know. I guess we'll find out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.